Hi guys, I come to you on another rather warm day in the summer, and I was thinking about Christmas, obviously, and presents as to what to get my eldest daughter. Now, she is possibly a little bit unusual in as much as when it comes to birthdays and Christmases, she doesn't really know what she wants for Christmas, and she's not really that like, I want this latest XYZ or whatever. Most of the time she will ask for like something really generic, like not really generic, but she'll ask for, say, what's an example? She'll say Lego, right? So she won't say, I want the Frozen castle Lego kit or whatever. She won't say that. She'll just say Lego. I'd like some more Lego. Or, and this is what she does most of the time, she says, I'd like surprises. Which, as the person who plans and purchases the gifts, is both a blessing and a curse. Okay, so the blessing, in as much as surprises, means that you could pretty much buy anything, right? Because, there's no, she hasn't decided what she wants, she just wants to be surprised. Great, I've got full creative reign. Okay, so blessing. The curse is that I then have to use my noggin to kind of think, right, okay, what does she want? What will she enjoy? And also, it always worries me that, because we're sort of, we are believers in this house, but part of me always worries that there is some sort of test, that while she's written on her list surprises, like her official list, has there been any other kind of communication with the North Pole? So last year I found out that she said something to me like, about Joanna Jingle Bells, who's our elf. I wrote to Joanna Jingle Bells and I haven't heard back from her yet. Right, I said, okay, so where did you leave the letter? Did you leave it somewhere like magical where she like knows where it is? And she went, I put it under my bed for her to find. I was like, right, okay, well, I said, that's not normally where we put letters for Father Christmas or the North Pole or whatever. So she probably didn't think, she's very busy at the moment, very, very busy, probably didn't think to look under your bed. So put it somewhere where you know she's going to find it. So yeah, both a blessing and a curse. So thinking about presents again this year, I was like, do you know what? I'm actually going to ask her what have been over the last years, what have been your most favourite, most memorable, your top presents. I'm not talking about the things that like you play with all the time or anything like that. I wanted to know what are your most memorable, your three most top, favouriteest, bestest presents in the whole wide world that you've ever had, right? And she told me. And so I thought I would impart this to you guys too, because it isn't actually 100% what I thought it is, but not also, it both was and wasn't what I was expecting. And I think we sometimes overdo things. Like, for an example, I remember once when she was really small, we used to play shops, okay? We used to do role play, we used to do shops, and we would just get things from around the house and we'd put them on the coffee table, and we'd pretend to be the shop, and like we'd pretend press buttons on the coffee table, pretend buttons, and there's no buttons on the coffee table, pretend press buttons for the till. And at Christmas, I said to my husband, I was like, should we get her she really enjoys playing shops, loves it. Like, let's get her a till and some money, and a little shopping basket, you know, for her to play shops. Okay, sounds like a great idea, right? She was excited when she got it, played with it a couple of times, and that was it. And then the whole shop role play thing fell flat. Wasn't interested anymore. We basically killed her imagination and her enjoyment of that role play. She was no longer interested. She enjoyed it when she was making it up, when she was doing the imagination and things. You know, I thought, great, you know, and for some children that would work. So you know your children best, obviously. You know what they're into, you know how they tick and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, for her, it just kind of killed it, and that has kind of always stuck in my mind. And what else has always stuck in my mind is friends of ours' children, when they were very small, like, you know, we were seeing them after Christmas, and I said, you know, what shall I get the kids for Christmas? Because obviously, you know, they'll have had loads of stuff from friends and family and all that kind of stuff. And she said, you know what? Oh, they could really do with some new clothes. They're growing so fast, they could really do with some new clothes. Fine, I said. I'll buy them some clothes. Lovely. I will never forget the look on their faces when we went down after Christmas. They'd had a lovely Christmas, opening up presents of toys and stuff. So by the time we got there, gave them their present, and children do not lie. Like, as much as we can be like, you know, oh, thank Auntie Susan for the gift or whatever, children are very honest, and we need to, like, obviously harness that that honesty, diplomacy, but the look on their faces when they opened clothes. From that moment on, I vowed never to buy any children clothes for Christmas. Because they opened it, like, tore through that paper, like, with great gusto and excitement, and then they were like, oh. Like, and the look on their faces when they realised it was clothes, and I got the thank you very much, you know, I got the thank you, but I felt so sad. I didn't feel, oh, so ungrateful, I've bought them a present. I didn't feel that at all. I thought, oh, bless their little cotton socks, like, they're expecting a toy, and they got boring clothes. But my eldest daughter, on the other hand, absolutely adores clothes, particularly if they are, like, if it's a costume. Oh my gosh, loves a costume. But she particularly loves, like, sparkly and girly things. Loves it. My youngest, no, not so much. But my eldest, like, you know, like, I very often buy her, like, some, like, sparkly ballet flats for Christmas, or, like, a party dress or something. But, like, any clothes, like, honestly, I can buy my eldest daughter any clothes and she will be super happy with them because she likes them. But, right, are we ready for what she said to me? There are 3, obviously, because I said, tell me your top 3 presents. Number 1 was a present that I gave me and my husband. Gave her for her birthday one year, and that is a spy case. It didn't cost that much money at all, but it did involve quite a lot of preparation on my behalf. So I can't remember, we had this idea from, like, we did a Paw Print Badges spy badge, and from doing the Paw Print spy badge, she really quite liked spy stuff, and it kind of went from there. So I was going to buy a second-hand briefcase, but then I thought, I'll ask my father-in-law. He used to work in an office. He may have one he no longer needs because he's retired. So I asked him if he'd got, I asked John's mum, and she laughed at me, and she said, has he got a briefcase? He's got tons. Like, please, take it off our hands. So I got a briefcase. They donated me a briefcase, which was really good. They're not massively expensive. If you want, like, a vintage one, they are expensive. And if you want leather, they're expensive secondhand on eBay and things like that. I know because I looked. But, like, just run-of-the-mill, nothing special about it, briefcases, you can pick them up, no problem. So I got her a briefcase, and in that briefcase I put some biro pens, I put some binder clips, you know, the crocodile, they call them crocodile, bulldog binder clips, some binder clips. I put some biros in, I put in some brown file folders, you know, like that you'd put like documents in. I put those in one of the thingy-majiggies, one of the, what do they call them? Filey bits. I don't know what you call it. So those things are like really inexpensive, and actually, truth be told, I didn't actually buy any of those things. I already had them like kicking around in the office. So there was that. I went on Twinkle. We do subscribe to Twinkle already because we home educate, but so I don't know whether they did. I think sort of Twinkle you have to pay for, but they do have some resources that are available for free. But I went on Twinkle and I printed out different signs that said like crime scene, do not cross, detectives detecting, that kind of thing. And I printed out some play passports, like some fake passports, and some other kind of spy and detective things from there. Paw print badges, as I've mentioned, they also do have some like printable resources that go along with their badges as well. So yeah, I just kind of like filled the pockets with those kind of things. I laminated the signs, like do not cross, do not enter kind of signs. I laminated those. And then in the like body of the briefcase, I bought an Usborne Books spy handbook. I bought one of my daughter's favourite artists, favourite authors, Pamela Butchart. I bought the book, The Spy Who Loves School Dinners. Oh my gosh, he loves that book. The Spy Who Loves School Dinners. I bought a second-hand copy of that. And I bought a second-hand copy of Spy Kids, the movie, DVD, because we do still use DVDs occasionally in our house. And I also bought a infrared torch, like a red torch, like a nighttime torch, which I wanted to get her anyway for camping, so that was good. I got her a pair of spy goggles, sunglasses. They're like sunglasses, but they've got mirrors in them so you can see behind you. She thinks they're hilarious. And then I bought her a Melissa and Doug spy kit, and in that it's got like a UV pen and a decoder and some like various notebooks and things. I'd actually say you probably don't need those. Like, she's hardly used those. Out of everything that's in there, she's hardly used those. She does quite like the UV pen though, but you can buy those separately. But like the decoder wheels, you can. There's loads of printables on the internet for those. She's loved it. Absolutely loved it, and she's used it so many times. She has set up things for us to decode. She's asked us to set up crime scenes for her to kind of decode and stuff. She has absolutely loved that present, and it was pretty inexpensive. Like as I said, like one of the books and the DVD I bought secondhand, and I printed things off, used things that I'd already got at home. You know, it's a doing present and using your imagination and stuff. I absolutely loved it. So that was one. These three are not in order. Okay, they're just three of. So number 2. My friend once said to me, what should I get the girls for Christmas? And just like I did with my friend, and I didn't want, like, I don't want people to spend like tons of money. I know money isn't always free flowing, and things like Christmas can be really expensive. You've got a lot of people to buy for, and it is like, you know, the thought that counts. Okay. And so I said, you know, oh, don't worry. She's like, no, I want to buy her something. I was like, okay, do you know what? Sweets. If you buy sweets, she'll love it. It's absolutely fine. You know, there's less stuff in our house. Clutter. I was like, get them some sweets. And so what she did is she went to the works and she bought like a little suitcase. It's like an A4 size suitcase. Do you know the ones I mean? Like little kiddie suitcases things. With a unicorn on. I don't know how much it is because I haven't looked. I think it was the works. I have a feeling it was the works, but it was one of those sorts of shops, like, you know, you could probably find them in B&M or Wilko or something like that. So she bought one of those little suitcases. When you opened it up, stuffed full of sweets and chocolate, and her face when she opened this, like, can you imagine being a kid and getting this? I mean, it's not very big. It's only like size of a cookbook or an A4 size, you know, little suitcase. But like, it was full of sweets. And it was such a genius idea for several reasons. Like, it was cheaper than, you know, versus the quantity, cheaper than a selection box and less plastic, because obviously selection boxes are mainly packaging. It wasn't extra stuff for us that we then had to find a space for in our house or whatever. So it was a consumable. Once it had gone, it's gone. But the suitcase has been reused, so she uses that suitcase now. She actually still keeps her sweets in it. So like, if she gets any sweets or whatever, she tends not to eat, like, you know, we don't necessarily let them, but what's the right words? Anyway, they don't eat necessarily the sweets all at the one time, and so they go back in this suitcase. So the suitcase has been reused, and she says to me, like, that's my favourite present. And my friend does that now every Christmas and birthday. She doesn't buy a suitcase every time, because she's got a suitcase. This, for her birthday, she gave her a paper bag with her name on it, with some sweets in, and still, like, hands down, the most favourite present. And yeah. So, and obviously you don't have to let the children have them all in one go. So it did last quite a long time, but perfect present. So that was number 2. And the third present was one that was a shock to me. So in our home ed adventures, we had been learning about Roald Dahl, we'd been learning about the ancient Mayan civilization and chocolate, and therefore we read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and yeah, we had like a really long like study of the ancient Mayan civilization and chocolate and all that kind of stuff, and we watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the Wonka film, and yeah, that was really good. We really enjoyed that. And then come Christmas, I was just searching for things, because as I've said in previous videos, I like to kind of tie things in from throughout the year. And I found on Amazon, some Wonka bars. And they were Christmas themed Wonka bars, and they looked like a Wonka bar, but then they had like little Christmas trees on. I was like, perfect for the Christmas Eve box, perfect. Now, the listing did say that it would have a golden ticket inside, right? Now, I didn't open the bar to see what it said. I assumed that the golden ticket would say something like, Merry Christmas to the bearer of this golden ticket, hope you have a great Christmas, New Year, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing, right? It was a replica. It was a replica Wonka ticket, and on it said, the bearer of this ticket turn up to the gates of the Chocolate Factory on the 1st of October. It was basically an actual replica Chocolate Factory ticket, right? When she opened this and read it, the excitement on her face was just priceless. My husband and I just looked at each other and were like, and we thought, okay, it's very exciting, very exciting. It'll all just die down and it'll be fine, you know, whatever. But I kid you not, all year long, she kept saying to me, is it October yet? You know, I've still got my ticket safe. She kept that ticket safe. She knew exactly where that ticket was at all times. Is it October yet? How long now till I get to visit the Chocolate Factory? Like, literally all year. And it got to September, and me and John were like, we're gonna have to. We are gonna have to, because Father Christmas, like, in her Christmas box that was delivered by the elves, gave her this. Like, we are going to have to take her to the Chocolate Factory because she's got the ticket to go, and she's literally spent all year asking when it's time to go to the Chocolate Factory. So we went. We went to Cadbury's World and we had a really, really, really lovely time. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, my daughter still talks about it now. She had pocket money and she bought herself a cup from there with like a squirly whirly straw, and she still drinks out of it now. Absolutely loves it. It was so memorable for her. And so I thought this year, we are going as a group with friends to see the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory musical in the theatre. And so I am going to I need to pay for the tickets soon, but it's not until February. But I'm going to give that to her for Christmas. So I thought I would buy some chocolate. Not another one of those Wonka bars. I thought I'd buy some chocolate and do a gift somehow, wrapped, presented somehow with chocolate and the tickets to go and watch the theatre performance. And I thought that's another thing that isn't stuff, that isn't clutter, like taking up the house. But also, once the excitement of Christmas has been and gone, it's something for us to look forward to, because it's not until the end of February. So yeah, that'll be something like really nice to look forward to. And it's memorable, like literally that chocolate factory trip has just stuck with her. Like she's really, really remembered it. So I'm glad we did it in the end. Super glad we did it. So yeah, interesting, isn't it? The things that cost the least, the things that are like doing or involve creativity, that's been a favourite, and the memorable things like the doing things, the experience things. Over all the other toys that they've both got, those are the things that have stuck out for them. Those are the things that she's been like, yeah. And she didn't have to hesitate. Like when I asked her, what are your top 3 most favourite toys of like all time? That's what she came up with, like that. Like that was there. That was that was what she thought of. So there we go. I just thought I would share that with you guys, just to give you some ideas of different things that you can perhaps give as gifts, and also to say that it isn't always the singing, dancing, electronic things that we're marketed. Those aren't always the things that actually the kids, they may want them, but they don't necessarily play with them, and they don't necessarily last, and they don't necessarily last up here either. It's the things that we're not expecting that really make that impact. So there we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.